Hello and welcome to Destination Passport, the only podcast about travel. I am, of course, Keith Bird.
And I am, of course, Damon Product.
And we're here again for another week to help another lovely client who we don't know how smart they are yet.
Lovely on the outside, brain not so sure yet.
You never know with these clients and these guests. We've been talking about it on the show a lot. People of all intelligence levels deserve a great vacation. That's what we're going to hopefully give another person today.
And that's where we've been looking to innovate, right? Because a lot of people will have IQ tests and they will reject certain intelligence levels, but we work with a whole range from dum-dums to smarts.
Yeah, we're not one of these travel agencies that only works with Mensa certified geniuses. we will work with some of the biggest dipshits on the face of the earth.
Even low quality humans outside of intelligence.
Oh yeah, well of course a few weeks ago we had what's his face? Rick Carpet Drapes, who didn't deserve a passport. We never really got into why he didn't deserve it, but I have to assume he committed some sort of mortal sin.
You got to do a lot.
To not deserve a
passport. Absolutely. You got to be on several lists. Not good lists.
Certainly the naughty list.
Certainly
the famous naughty list.
Santa's naughty list is number one. Probably FBI's most wanted is another one that comes to mind.
You know what? He looked familiar. In retrospect, he looked pretty familiar, and I think it might be because I visit the FBI's most wanted list website all the time.
Just to check for updates, see if anything surprising might happen, as in your face.
And see if I might be on there for any. But I don't think that I've never seen someone on the FBI most wanted list for trying to contact their ex-wife. I don't think that's ever gotten somebody on that list.
Trying to contact is like a very fun, vague way to put it. But yeah, absolutely. Even if it is as aggressive as yours is,
right.
I don't think that's like the FBI type territory.
No, I don't think the FBI care. I mean, I do cross state lines sometimes in the pursuit of my ex-wife, which is your sister, of course.
It is my sister.
New listeners probably don't know that I was married to your lovely sister, Jennifer Product.
Unfortunately, that didn't work out, but this did. This friendship sure did.
This friendship sure did. We are ex-brothers-in-law, but brothers for life. And it's sort of like what Vin Diesel says in the Fast and Furious movies. It's
can I guess which quote?
Sure.
Fast.
Yeah, yeah, you got it.
Like he says.
Yeah, we are fast friends. And we're rarely furious with each other.
No, rarely. It's happened from time to time. Look, if you haven't gotten furious and gotten into a fight with not just your significant other, but any sort of relationship, is it a real relationship?
Yeah.
No.
If you generally get along with your friend, your family member, your lover, your wife, your husband, if you generally get along and enjoy each other's company, fucking dump them.
Not real.
It's not
Something's
real.
Coming. Something worse is coming. Watch out.
Watch out. It's a calm before the storm.
So anyway, we work with anyone, even people that are on lists such as Naughty List, FBI's, and the third one I think he might be on is Schindler's.
And we work with people who are on the honor roll, like last week's client, Noah Baumbach, the high school sophomore. And he sent us a postcard, as our clients like to do, and he is just having the time of his life over there in Europe with his BFF Romeo.
Yeah, he did. He said, I'm having the time of my life, and I can't thank you enough because we had some of the deepest conversations we've ever had as friends, and he convinced him to join his art class.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
He left archery to join the art class. They're closer than ever.
That's huge. Yeah. And then the picture that they attached, if you do sort of the line analysis of kind of how people are leaning, Noah's very clearly leaning into Romeo, and Romeo's kind of leaning away from Noah. But I think that might just be something they have to work through. And I think art class will help bring them closer together physically.
Yeah. And it was like one of those, like you would analyze like handshakes between presidents. They were shaking hands like that, which was kind of bizarre in general that they would shake hands.
Yeah.
And Romeo seemed to be kind of leaning away and trying to like pull his hand back. And Noah had like the other hand on his shoulder trying to pull him in. So it did look a little one-sided, but by all means, it seems like Noah's they're getting closer.
Yeah. And whether or not Romeo was switching away from archery to art of his own volition, or if Noah hacked into the school scheduling system to make the switch himself. We don't know.
Similar to the trip, whether Noah went on the trip willingly and knowingly, or Noah, booked the flights for him, bagged him. We did discuss potentially bagging his head and throwing him onto the trip.
Yeah, the black bag part was really for the reformed neo-Nazi archery range in the Pacific Northwest.
But I think he got inspired.
I think he got inspired and he decided, you know what, if I have to black bag my BFF Romeo to really make him my BFF for life, there's not a bag too black for that, you know.
There's not a bag too black for that. And does this mean that he kind of took both of our trips?
In a way, I think he did. He did the sort of the romantic European countryside vacation that you proposed, and some of the reformed neo-Nazi intimidation tactics that I incorporated into my.
Which again,
pitch.
I'm shocked he didn't consider yours more.
I said he was reformed.
Right.
But he's still a scary-looking guy.
He took aspects of it. That's all that matters. So happy for our client. But I've got a little update if you care to hear it.
Okay.
Listeners from last week may recall I found out I had a 2-year-old son.
Little squirt.
Big update.
Little squirt, big update.
Little squirt, big update. Apparently, he's 3 now.
Oh, baby, how'd that happen so fast?
Well, apparently, I met him right before that 3rd birthday.
Okay, so that's interesting. So now I'm trying to do the math.
So now, when she had approached me and said,
remember, like a year and 3 months ago.
I guess he was almost 2 by then.
He was almost 2 already.
Yeah.
And you never suspected that anonymous random child was your own.
No. And we look not super alike. So, and you may have seen this, but we went on Maury this week. And we had the whole DNA test reveal. I am the father.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I did try to get out of it. I did try to reach out to Maury and say, I'm not the dad.
Mm-hmm.
I became a scumbag for a week. Just because you have to get on that show.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of kind of method acting prep work to go on that show. And so you were, I think you were listening to Imagine Dragons nonstop.
That was my main form of getting into character. Yeah.
You were exhibiting a lot of toxic positivity.
That's right. Yeah. I was saying I'm not the father, but like it wouldn't matter if I am because everything's great no matter what. Is just kind of what I yelled. Yeah.
You also you have a dog, and you usually give your dog just normal water. But this time you fed it Baja Blast.
That's right.
Mountain Dew Baja Blast?
Well, it's because it's the only thing I have in my fridge anymore.
Yeah.
And I turned off the water in my home just to not tempt myself to give my dog water anymore or to drink it myself.
Yeah, because if you're going to be a scumbag, you're going to have to give your dog Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
That's right.
Yeah. And how's your dog holding up after all that?
My dog has been to the vet several times this week. I believe it's unrelated, though. It's mostly been stomach pain, I think.
And your dog's name is Chalupa.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he is a full-grown Chihuahua. So he's not as small as you might imagine.
He's a huge Chihuahua.
Huge Chihuahua, yeah. Some people say he's a Doberman. I'm like, no, that's a Chihuahua.
No, it's definitely a Chihuahua because
his name's Chalupa.
His name's Chalupa, so it's got to be. You can't name a Doberman Chalupa.
No.
The Doberman would reject that name out of hand or out of paw. But Chalupa's a sweetie. Little Squirt. Now that you've accepted that you are in fact the father, which you seem to have fully accepted that before, but then you kind of had to go into scumbag mode to prepare for Maury. How much money did you get from appearing on that show?
So you pay them. That's the thing with Maury. Yeah, you pay them. So I had to pay a retainer. So I still.
You have Maury on retainer.
I have Maury on retainer right now.
So if you ever happen to have another situation like this, where one of your many former conquests approaches you and says, "By the way, you put a baby in me, I shitted the baby out, and now it's yours."
I've got about 3 more appearances on retainer still.
You've got 3 more appearances on. Well, that's good to know that you've kind of got those paid for, taken care of.
Yeah.
And,
it's stress out of my head, right? Because now if I want to be on Maury again, I don't have to go out of pocket.
And in the unlikely event, you have to meet your Maury deductible.
Yeah, exactly. I got to meet with Mari Deductible first.
And
because insurance, I called them. They're like, we will not cover this.
Insurance won't cover Mari?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
No, and I didn't know that. I had to
That's
call
this
them.
fucking healthcare system.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to get off on another rant.
Let's not get into that because we have thoughts and opinions.
We have thoughts, and they might not be the ones that you or anyone else would expect or agree with.
No, exactly. And they might not be ones that would be good to portray on our business podcast.
Yeah. But in the unlikely event, very unlikely event that you don't have any other illegitimate children, I assume that they would kind of refund the unused retainer money.
I am assuming that as well. I do not know that, but I'm ready to take them to court. Now that we have been to court several times, I'm just like,
oh yeah, we should update everyone on
eager.
that. We should update huge victories.
Yeah.
Most of the people suing us did commit suicide.
Huge victory, I think, for us. Obviously, just a big win. Because again, illegally, the case gets dropped at that point.
Yeah. You can't get sued by a dead man.
Yeah.
And you certainly can't get sued by a dead former Kansas City Royals starting pitcher from the early 2000s, Paul
That's right.
Bird. Canonically, he committed suicide.
Yeah, that's real now. You can
That's
look
real
it up, and that'll be a
and
real
if
thing.
it's not reflected on Wikipedia, if you could go, you could go to Paul Bird's Wikipedia page.
That's the good thing about Wikipedia. You can correct the wrongs.
You can correct the wrongs. You can write the wrongs.
right the wrongs. Some
Yeah.
would say. I say correct the wrongs.
Correct the incorrections.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I should say that now.
Yeah. And so we've got a great client that we want to help.
Yep.
We want to help out. I just want to point out it's probably the least that I've talked about my ex-wife, your current sister.
Without a doubt, a record.
So I'm feeling good about that.
But you're. Oh no. Oh, you're starting to cry. Oh no.
Is there a form of tinnitus or tinnitus where you can hear the whispers of an ex-lover?
No, I don't. I think that would be a psychological thing.
It's sort of. I feel like all the senses are sort of. She's.
Yeah, you've mentioned a lot that you try to smell
She's
her
ingrained
from my
in
skin.
all. Yeah, but now I'm starting to hear and.
Well, look, hey, whatever's getting you to stop talking about her so much, it's working.
Are you familiar with the phenomenon of the phantom limb?
Yes.
Sometimes I feel her. The only real touch that she ever had was like pushing me away. But I feel that sort of pushing on my chest.
So every once in a
sometimes.
while, you just kind of like stumble backwards.
Yeah.
You feel her forcing you out the front door again.
Well, you know what? I'm starting to dig in. It's still a record, I think, but
Without a doubt,
Yeah.
even that extra whatever minute and a half that we just talked about, it's still a record. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
I know that you've been doing get better. You've been trying to get out there,
Yeah.
but absolutely. Let's take a quick break here and let's get to our next guest. And
Oh no, I just felt it.
it happened again. I'm going to have to handle this, maybe pick Keith up off the ground, and we'll be
Yeah,
back.
I'm on the ground. I'm flat on my back on the ground right now.
We'll be back with our guest right after this break.
Okay, bye. Welcome back to Destination Passport.
We're
And
never together on that.
I like to think of it as harmonizing. I know it's not.
Yeah.
I know that harmonizing is a specific, precise kind of thing.
And harmonizing sounds
And
good.
that it sounds good. And that it sounds like a beautiful song. And that when we do it, it sounds more like...
Do these guys know what they're saying?
it sounds more like two smart cars sort of caught in traffic honking at each other. You know those teeny tiny little smart cars?
I need more explanation.
You know those tiny little cars that you see on the road?
I see small cars on the road, yeah.
I've never heard one of them honk their horn, but I imagine it sounds like...
So if two of them go at the same time, it just might be...
Yeah. And I bet you can customize the horn sound. Is that something that you can do with Teslas?
You customize a lot about the inside. It would shock me if you can't customize that horn.
I bet Elon Musk, if you're listening...
Elon Musk, you are listening. So Elon Musk, listen up.
Listen up. First of all, get fucked. That's just a general thing from me. Second of all, great idea. Just had customizable car horns. You can make it sound like Rick and Morty. You can make them sound like, the pickledy-dickledy, whatever they say. And then that would be kind of the most epic car horn of all time.
Neith, you've famously never seen Rick
I've
and
never
Morty.
seen Rick and Morty, no.
But bash it often.
Pickledy-dickledy. I'm not bashing it. That's what I thought it was. I would never bash anything except Elon Musk get fucked.
You know what I think we should find out? We should find out if our guest has anything to bash.
Okay.
Was that a good segue?
That's a great segue. It would be an even better segue if our guest was Mark McGuire and or Jose Canseco.
We're not going to get into baseball again.
It is a regular segment. We do talk about baseball every week.
Every week. So was that it?
That was it.
Okay. That's all the baseball we're going to have. So let's get to it. Let's bring on our guest. We have a lovely client today. Very excited to potentially twinkle in their eye. And that didn't sound right.
Yeah,
Put a
no,
twinkle
we're not
in
good.
their eye.
And we should clarify, we're not twinkling in anyone's eye or any other part of their body.
Put a twinkle in their eye
Yeah.
and get the dream vacation of their dream for them. So
Yep.
without any further ado, let's introduce.
You seem distracted. It looks like you might have just gotten an email from Maury.
Yeah, okay, you knew. Yeah, I got an email here, and he said, I got several calls from USAA, your insurance, and they are very confused as to why they're trying to have you pay me. I already have you on retainer. He's confused. He says he has me on retainer now.
And yeah, just the fact that you are, by having USAA insurance, basically a troop, he should respect you more.
I am basically a troop.
Yeah.
By myself, I'm a troop.
All right, introduce our guest.
Okay, let's introduce. Please give a warm welcome to Shingles McGillicully, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Shingles. How you doing?
Shingles.
Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about old Shingles. Old Shingles is always fine.
That's good.
Wow, we've never had a guest come in with a catchphrase. That's great.
Well, they call it a catchphrase. I just call it something I regularly say every 25 to 35 minutes. Old Shingles is always fine.
That's interesting. You measure your life in specifically 25-minute increments, which is about how long a sitcom might be without commercials.
It's also the Pomodoro technique. Has anybody heard of this?
Oh, yes.
No.
Nah, then let's not get into it. Shingles, we are so grateful for you to come to us and trusting us with your travel needs. And we would love to just get to know you a little bit better, right? So that we can not just click some buttons and send you on a random trip, but really bring out the adventure in you that you need brought out in you.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Did that add up?
Well, no, but old Shingles doesn't understand much these days. So
Oh, no.
It's all right. I just trust that it's one of those young people things where they're talking up in their weird ways.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you mentioned that we're very young, because now that kind of opens the door for me pointing out that you look extremely old.
And you did call yourself Old Shingles,
Yeah.
just to be clear.
Yes.
How old are you, if I may ask?
Well, I just had my birthday.
Wow. Just like
it
a little
was
squirt.
about 360 days ago I had my birthday.
Just okay,
And
sir.
I turned 137.
Wow. And that means in 5 days you turned 138.
Well, yes, I suppose it does.
Shingles, can I ask?
Oh, boy.
Can I ask you? Do you have the record? Are you the oldest human alive right now?
Well, it's very hard to tell who's old and who's young and who's
It's not that hard to
alive.
tell.
And it's not on. And it's not on you to know that. I just thought there would be like Guinness or something that would tell you.
I don't drink beer.
Well, that's probably why you've lived such a long and a colorful life.
Yeah. Why don't we actually, if you don't mind me asking, I feel like that's the stereotype. What do you think led to your longevity, huh?
Yeah, what's your secret? Do you have a
What's your
secret?
secret to living long?
Well, it is a bit of a mystery because by all accounts, my body is crumbling like a sandcastle on a beach on a windy day. I grew up in a coal mine.
You grew
Yeah,
up in a
you
coal
were.
mine.
Yes, I didn't work in the coal mine. I actually worked at a Kohl's, but I did grow up in
Wow.
the coal mine.
You're our second guest in 5 weeks to work at a Kohl's.
Oh, that is hilarious. Kohl's is a great company to work for.
So
They
you
weren't great to me, but
would just come in. Were you like a teenager when you worked this job, or younger?
well, I was 9 years old when I started working at Kohl's
So
in the
Kohl's-
unmentionables.
So Kohl's must have been like a general store at the time.
I was gonna say that would have been 120 something years ago.
This is kind of the Wild West.
Yes, it had just started. Kohl's was but a child, as was I.
So it was like HP, Kohl's, general store, and haberdashery.
where they sold very fine sheets, as they still do today, I am to believe. I haven't been into Kohl's in many years.
I'm sure it's much different. Just talking to Hank Hanatuni a few weeks ago, it's very different these days. It's basically a sovereign state.
They have their own currency, everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
So-
when I worked there, they did not have a currency.
Yeah.
Just
Kohl's
kind of
Cash wasn't
bits,
around.
yeah. Buy a bottle of whiskey for 2 bits.
2 bits. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a couple different directions I want to go and questions I have for you, but I think let's go back to the early days if you don't mind. You were raised in a coal mine. Did your parents work there? What led to this?
Well, I didn't actually have parents. Back in those days, the coal miners would get so sad that the owners of the mine thought it would be fun to introduce a community child. So sometimes they would just drop a child into the mine, and the miners would all care for it together as a community. And they thought it would bring them closer together and instill a sense of camaraderie since their birds kept dying.
Well, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
I think if the bird's dying, you should get out of there as soon as possible, not introduce a child to the environment.
Well, I wasn't in charge of them.
Oh, I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming them for putting you through that. I mean, you've got to have like black lung times 10.
What did you do when everybody was off shift?
I laid down. I laid down on the dirt. And
So when they went home for the day,
yeah.
you just laid in the dirt?
Yeah, I laid down in the dirt and I looked up at the ceiling of the mine and I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I could see the outside? But it wasn't for me. 'Twasn't to be for old Shingles, and that's just fine. Old Shingles is just fine.
There's your catchphrase.
Famously, yeah.
Now, when you did you lie down because you were so exhausted? So you weren't working, you weren't actually mining, and you did go to Kohl's eventually to do that work. But when you were just being the community child, did you have to like dance and sing? Did you have to like entertain the miners so that they would keep their spirits up? How did that work?
Did you provide value?
Did you provide value to the company? Yeah.
Well, I certainly tried. The miners, my collective group father, eventually decided that I should get a job at Kohl's. But before then, they would sometimes call me by the random names of their daughters that they've left behind, or they would ask to touch my hair.
Okay, it's a little
Or they would
weird.
call me by the names of their sons that they had left behind, or they would say, let me see those toes.
Cool. Okay. Did you ever feel like you were in danger in any way, being surrounded by?
Oh, never.
good.
There were lovely men in the coal mine.
How could you be in danger when you have that many fathers looking after you?
Yeah, exactly. When you have that many unrelated grown men.
There's a whole bunch of papas for one little Shingles.
Now, did they give you that name? Was that your given name?
Christian name, what's going on?
I don't remember.
That makes sense.
Shingles is top of roof, but also disease. But I've never heard it as a name. So it's just. Do you know?
Do you know the origin of your name at all? No, don't remember.
No.
Did the coal miners suffer from shingles? I would imagine a lot of them maybe did.
Probably. A lot of the coal miners were not very well, man. They were pretty sick.
I mean,
and
the birds
was
were
pretty
dying.
sick. The birds were dying, and we didn't have many sandwiches to eat. But it was better when I started working at Kohl's. I was able to bring some nice things down from Kohl's.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
that
you
was
still
good.
you still lived there when you worked at Kohl's?
Well, where else would I live? I was but 9 years old. That was my home, that coal mine.
Yeah. Wow. Huh. Yeah. I mean, I would expect maybe a house, or like at least an orphanage or something. But
Or potentially one of your, I don't know, whatever, dozens, hundreds of fathers thought, I'll bring you into my home. I would have
Oh
thought.
no, they could never. It would throw off the balance of the mine if one of them had more time with me than the others. They'd be very jealous and very angry.
it was important to keep the communal child communal.
Exactly.
for morale purposes.
Did a court rule did you have like split time with each father evenly then? Like 7 minutes each or something per day?
As best we could. My job was mainly to walk around the mine and check in on everybody, how they was doing. And sometimes I would sing that little song from Shirley Temple. I don't know if Shirley Temple was a thing or not at this time.
I think she was still. I think they were ways off from movies really being a thing, like regularly.
Maybe a fetus.
I think we're at
The
least,
technology
at least a generation
existed,
away.
but yeah, I think we were about a generation away from movies being like mainstream.
Well, then maybe it was my song originally, and Shirley Temple stole it from me.
That's what it
There's
sounds
no
like.
way to tell.
Was it Good Ship Lollipop, Animal Crackers in My Soup? What Shirley Temple jam we talking about?
It was animal crackers in my soup. That was
Okay.
the one.
Okay, wow. So yeah, you must have gotten animal crackers. That was a popular general store treat, I believe,
Yeah.
at the time. Kind of a way to get sustenance, just like hard flour, basically. How did we start talking about Shirley Temple again?
The song.
That's what she would
that I
sing
would
to
sing.
them.
to the miners when you were entertaining them.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you think it's possible that somehow, well, first of all, when you said that you would lay down on the floor of the mine, you'd say, "Wouldn't it be nice?" And that's of course a famous Beach Boys song. And then you were singing this Shirley Temple song decades before Shirley Temple became a child star. Do you think it's possible that somehow Brian Wilson and/or Shirley Temple somehow heard tell of your? Basically, what I'm saying is, are you one of America's unsung creative gems? Can you answer that?
Well, maybe those other people whose names I have immediately forgotten because my memory is very poor.
Yeah, and that's
Brian
that's the character.
That's the age. That's the old age.
Yeah, I mean the age. Yeah, why did I say
Well,
character? That's just your age.
It's
Yeah.
not just me and the fact that well, maybe they had fathers that worked in the mine, and their fathers heard me singing a song and us talking, and then they told their children and their children's children, and now the Beach Boys.
And now Beach Boys. Yeah, it doesn't seem like you're very on top of pop culture or anything. Beach Boys were a while ago, but absolutely. I think it
Yeah.
sounds like
But you would have been 80 by the time the Beach Boys came out, I think.
Yeah.
So you might have already been kind of, once you reach a certain age, you're just kind of, your taste is your taste. And so by that
Yeah.
point, you were probably mostly into like old phonographs of like somebody singing like Camptown Races. Like that was kind of your music by the time Beach Boys came around.
Maybe.
Maybe, you're not sure.
I'm not sure. Sometimes the boys down in the mines would slap on their knees, and that was a good song, and I liked that song.
Wow. Yeah.
Shingles, can I ask a question? It's just been
No.
pressing at your tender age. Why are you looking to travel? What are you looking to do?
And tender is usually used to describe a very young person's age, but you have actually, your body has become so tender, just kind of being beaten by the elements and just by life,
Yeah.
that you are once again at a tender age.
Sort of Benjamin Button-y.
Yeah.
Yes, well, and the thing is, I have actually come to you not so much to plan a trip, but in some ways to plan a funeral.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I would love for this trip to end in my death. I am tired of living now, and I have grown weary. And 2 of my eyeballs are glass, and my
2 of
teeth are made out of porcelain. And my ears are fake, and my elbows have disintegrated. And I would
Yeah.
like to.
Yeah, I couldn't
die.
help but notice that you were a lot like one of those like dancing wiggly guys outside of a car dealership. Just
Yeah. My joints are very loosey-goosey, like a bunch of butter in a bowl. And I would like to die now.
okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, thanks for coming to us.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, this is unusual certainly, but it's not unheard of. We have definitely worked with a little guy named Jack Kevorkian back in the day to put together sort of a euthanasia travel package. It didn't really come up in the HBO movie where Al Pacino played Jack Kevorkian. We got kind of cut out.
But it's been done. So certainly we will figure out some sort of destination and travel for you that will end in, ultimately, it sounds like a funeral for you.
Yeah.
That would be great. No one that I know or loved back in the mines would be able to attend, but perhaps maybe it would be beautiful enough that their memories could somehow float by.
Yeah, we'll do what we can to see if their memories or ghosts can attend.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody currently in your life? Because this might help us. We're basically planning a funeral at this point.
Yeah.
Who, do you love or know anybody that's still around?
One time I was walking in a park, and I looked across the way, and I saw a young man, and he looked up at me, and he kind of said, ugh. And he was very nice, so maybe he could come.
So that's the first person that comes to mind when we talk about a loved one is a stranger who very clearly was disgusted by your very existence. That's kind of who you're thinking. Top of the invitation list.
Well, he was wearing a very nice jacket, so maybe he could wear that nice jacket to my funeral and class it up a bit.
Well, what kind of jacket was it?
Yeah,
A Letterman, bomber?
Because we're going to have to find this guy.
Yeah.
So this will help.
Well, I'm not a fashion person by any means, but I'll try my best to describe it. It was long and perhaps of a wool material.
Wool.
It looked
Long
very
wool.
warm, and it covered him all the way up to his chin, down his long arms to his wrists, which
Yeah.
I imagine got very cold in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pretty typical long sleeve.
Yeah,
so
they
far.
usually go to about the wrists. Yeah.
Maybe a
It had
turtleneck.
a button, or perhaps two.
Okay.
There's no way to be sure.
And this was a long coat, you said, like a trench coat, like a
I
woolen
don't know
trench
what
coat.
that is.
I think trench coats were around when you were working at Kohl's.
No, we didn't have any coats at my Kohl's.
Okay.
It was the coatless Kohl's.
A coatless Kohl's, yeah. Well,
It
they've
was
definitely
coatless Kohl's.
they've become more coated in the many decades since you worked at the the Kohl's
Oh,
General
that's
Store.
lovely.
Yeah.
Maybe I could die inside a coat section at a Kohl's. And they could just pick me up with a broom and a dustpan.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah. We're gonna probably try and aim a little higher than that. We want to give you.
Yes.
We always want to try and give people the vacation of a lifetime, and especially if it's the last vacation of their lifetime, and possibly the first. It sounds like you've had a rough life. Have you ever been on a vacation? Period.
I don't know what that is.
Okay. All right. This is
So when you reached out to us, because we plan vacations, what was your intention? Did you think vacation was like a synonym for a funeral?
Well, I had just discovered that there is a way to travel. It doesn't involve being inside of a bucket. And I thought, wouldn't that be nice? For my time to die, I could die somewhere lovely.
So you've never traveled in a way that wasn't you being kind of pulleyed up and down from a coal mine in a little bucket.
Well, one time they put the bucket that I was in on a small boat.
A small boat.
And I drifted for a while.
And you were still in the bucket, though.
I
Is that
stayed
right?
in the bucket.
Okay, sure. So is that fair to say, if you didn't travel outside of that, did the hole entering the mine, did that entrance, was that inside of the coals? Because you didn't have to travel to the coals from there?
There was a small back room in the coals that happened to be situated right over a hole that went down into the mine.
Mm-hmm.
That was mainly why my group father decided that I should work there, because it was so convenient.
Wow.
That's a good reason. That's a good reason, yeah.
Yeah, that's a quick commute. Yeah, you can kind of.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how long you had to travel up.
True. How far down was this mine?
It was a very long way.
Oh, no.
Oh.
It was many lifetimes and many hours and many days that it
Oh
took
my
to
God.
get in and out of the mine. Were you ever out of the mine? Maybe not. There's no way to tell.
So this coals might have been in the coal mine, or maybe just part of your imagination because you were quite delirious from inhaling
The gas that
the
killed
gases
canary
and
birds.
fumes and the dust.
Well, there's simply no way to know. I have been told by many doctors that my lungs are about 90% dust at this point.
Yeah, there seems to be kind of dust kind of emanating from your torso.
I can't tell what is dust and what is your body. It just kind of like, I look like I'm just looking at a wall right now.
You kind of look like the smoke monster from Lost a little bit.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, right.
Can I ask you?
You don't know Beach Boys, so you probably don't know Lost either.
Yeah. Can I ask you, because we haven't checked in on this, it sounds like maybe you've never left it and that the whole Coles thing was a hallucination. Do you currently live in the coal mine still?
I have since left the coal mine in my bucket for one last time. It was caving in, and the group fathers decided that it was time for me to leave the coal, lest I die neath the rocks that would crush my tiny, tiny body. So I emerged into the outside world, maybe 20 years ago.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. So when you were about 118,
Yes.
you came into the outside world.
Yes, and I went to what they call a red robin, and I became so startled by everything that was around me that I left, and I now live in a small alleyway.
A small alleyway. Okay.
That's all you know. Small crammed spaces.
Yeah. You do you like sleep in a bucket because it's more comfortable, or?
I have made a tiny little mine shaft out of cardboard boxes, and I've put dirt in the bottom and made little wooden holdy-uppy things. I don't know what they're called. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's okay.
Are the rats your new group father?
There are a couple rats and raccoons that have guided me for many of my life decisions, yes.
Okay, great. Huh. Okay. Damon, do you have anything else you want to kind of ask about? Any more background before we start kind of generating, kind of brainstorming, pitching our ideas?
Yeah, I want to know, like, what is your dream funeral? What does your ideal funeral look like?
I would like to lay in the dirt again. It was so soft out.
I mean, that is ultimately what does happen. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I've heard many, many tales about death, and it sounds absolutely delightful, and yet it seems to never come for me.
It seems to elude you at every turn. You are you worried that you might in fact be immortal and might be unable to die, and this whole funeral will never happen?
Oh, that would be a bummer.
Bummer. You say bummer.
Bummer. I'm immortal. Bummer.
Oh, I've thought about it, but maybe I guess in that case, I could find maybe another mine to live in or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you want to start pitching and just see?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't even know who went first.
I don't remember who went first, but I have an idea.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Now, Shingles, I really latched on to one particular word, and it was funeral. And
Wait, I forgot a detail.
Okay, go ahead.
I did just very recently find a letter addressed to me. I don't know how it found me in my alleyway, but my group father apparently collectively set up a trust fund for me. So I just happened to have $47 million.
Wow.
I don't know if that's important, but a librarian who helped me send an email to you, I don't know what an email is, and I don't know what a librarian is. But she said, tell those nice young boys that you have $47 million. And I did.
Wow, so you have $47 million, you want to die, and you have no loved ones. Is that correct?
I saw that boy in the park. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the boy who was disgusted to see you. Can I do a quick sidebar with my man Damon here for a second?
I don't know what that is.
Just hang on one
Just hang on
second
tight.
there.
Just hang tight. Just how can I put this in a way that you would understand?
Shingles is just fine.
Just play dead like one of those canaries. Okay, great.
Okay, great.
I think we should try and get that money.
Look, I I don't want to be an asshole right now.
Mm-hmm.
But where else will the money go? You know?
Exactly.
And I think Shingles has basically said that's my budget for this project. Is what I heard. Is what I heard.
Yeah.
Outside of potentially leaving an inheritance to that one guy at the park.
And that I would feel bad for her just because that guy hates that she's alive.
It seems as though we like Shingles a lot more than he ever.
I love Shingles.
Way more than he ever did. So
I'm in love with Shingles.
Okay, I think that's maybe a bit far, but I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talk about the project here and we see if we can get some of those money.
Okay. So Shingles, thank you for sharing that detail. That very.
I think it helps.
It helped. That helped us.
Nice
That
know.
helped. So what I'm sort of thinking, I was originally going to pitch a Viking funeral. I don't think that's for you. I don't think that's for you. I think instead, what we could do is send you on a little trip to what we call a lawyer's office.
Yep, I know where you're going here. This is one of our more famous packages.
This is what we call the Estate Law Getaway, and we of course try this. You know, we like with everything else, we try everything that we recommend, everything that we kind of organize and sell. And this Estate Law Getaway is amazing. First of all, you get to fly to sunny Hawaii, where one of the best estate law lawyers in the country works. His name is Ken Luau, and Ken Luau. And basically, you kind of get to do like. It's almost like LARPing, which I brought up a few weeks ago.
It's a little role playing.
You get to do a little bit of fun role play, like what would it be like if you had a will, and like what if you worked on that will with a lawyer and with us? Like we don't always come with our clients on a trip.
But sometimes we do.
Sometimes we do.
And this package certainly requires us.
Yes, it's because you have no one who loves you or that cares about you at all. So the estate law experience, you really kind of need to have. Not just yourself, but sort of family. And we consider ourselves to be your family.
Yeah, and the law will too soon.
And the law will too very soon. And so basically, it's, you get to go to Hawaii, enjoy the scenery, maybe stop off at the beach for a little bit, but then we'll have to go because we'll have an appointment with a lawyer. So we'll go to the beach for about 20 minutes, and then we'll go to this law office.
You forgot, you're going to get a luau as soon as you get off the plane.
You're going to get a luau, and then you're going to get a luau.
Yep.
Ted a luau. Did I say Ted?
Sure.
And you're gonna get the kind of double luau experience, and then we'll just sort of like play a little bit like writing a will. Yeah. Isn't this fun? And then I think what we'll do after that is you can't always trust Yelp, TripAdvisor, all these places. No. We happen to know for a fact that the worst reviewed helicopter tours company in Hawaii is actually quite safe. And we're going to put you on the helicopter. We won't go on that part because I get a little airsick and Damon gets a little seasick. So, and just seeing the ocean from the sky can kind of
that type of sea.
Yeah,
seeing the sea.
Seeing the sea. Yeah, he's.
I'm seeing the sea sick.
Yeah, he's CC sick. So he's SEA sick. And so we will go with you on that part. But man, crash and burn helicopter tours is really quite an experience. You can't really get, and that's a name. The guy's name is Frank Crash and Burn. And I think that this will be just like the ultimate experience for you. And maybe after that helicopter tour, you'll discover or rediscover a zest for life, and you'll want to keep going. Or maybe not.
Or maybe you'll meet some of your old friends. In a potential afterlife.
Up on the River Styx.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I have never been in the sky before, seeing as I have spent the majority of my life underground.
Sure.
So it does make me slightly uneasy to imagine going somewhere on a plane or a helicopter. I don't really know what those things are, but I imagine that they're those large things I see in the sky.
Bingo, you nailed it.
Yeah, you got it.
Unless you're referring to clouds and
you might
the sun.
Be. Are these large things you see in the sky
white and fluffy?
White and fluffy and kind of moving very slowly across the sky over the course of a day?
Well, those are the old things in the sky.
Okay.
You have to remember I've been looking at the sky for over 20 years
Yeah,
now.
up from that
And
hole.
originally I saw the white things, but now I've been seeing more of the.
Okay.
Yeah,
Those
planes
are-
just
okay.
started flying more frequently.
Yeah,
about-
well, you know what? It's interesting. She said it's been 20 years, would be peg you right around 9/11. So maybe you came out from the underground when flights were kind of couple
Grounded.
of weeks when flights were
We're
grounded for safety
Yeah,
reasons.
I think that was it.
And this is sort of a regular question that kind of becoming a regular segment. But what does 9/11 mean to you?
I don't know what that is.
It sounds like
Okay.
it means freedom from
means
the.
freedom.
It means freedom for a lot of people, but I think
Yeah.
for you, it sounds like freedom from the underground.
Yeah,
It was the first time being up. It was 9/11.
it was 9/11. So you'll never forget it but just for a different reason.
I don't know if 9/11 affected the earth birthing me out or not, but perhaps it did. I don't know.
They say never forget. Shingles may have forgotten.
Yeah, Shingles has forgotten.
Okay.
And in some cases never learned many things.
Well, okay. Good to get your initial thoughts, Shingles. If it's okay, I'd like to pitch an alternative option and then give you the chance to choose. Does that sound all right?
Well, that sounds lovely.
Okay. Is Shingles doing fine?
Okay, good.
Is that what the catchphrase was? Oh, Shingles, you got to make it. You got to make it through this. Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So.
that happens all the time. Shingles is just fine.
Okay, good. So my idea was, I thought we would have to get into an airplane for this, but not necessarily if we don't want to get into the sky. But I was thinking nice San Diego, California. If you've ever heard of it, I doubt you have, based on prior, what we've chatted about. So the reason I was going there, there's this nice little place. I believe it's called Jolla Cliffs. Beautiful. There's seals out there, but more importantly, there is a cliff that is very high to a fall to the water. And there's not a lot of people that go around there, especially late at night. So I was thinking if you wanted to go down there, and again, this would be something that we would join you on. We could go out there, watch the sunset together. Maybe play by the rocks. They get a little slippery at night, and then see if someone falls into the water potentially.
Cannonball,
Yeah, just like a cannonball. And from there, if you were to die, obviously, then we could do sort of like a Viking type of funeral. You're already in the water. We would pull your body onto shore, maybe gather some sticks, build you a pseudo sort of raft, throw your
kind of
body
a
onto
pyre.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a pyre. Throw you out there, and then with lighters, try to light lighters, because we don't have arrows that we can light on fire. With just Bic lighters, just light them and then throw them at you, and hope they make it there and light you on fire for a Viking funeral.
Well, that sounds lovely. I've never been in the ocean before, the sea, or seen a body of water of any kind.
Not
nor
even a
drink
pond?
any water
Oh, wow.
Wow.
in many years. But, maybe I could die in the ocean.
Yeah, I think it'd be a beautiful sort of full circle
Yeah.
thing.
And of course, what Damon forgot to mention is that before we go to La Jolla Cliffs, there's a great estate law
Great
attorney
estate law attorney there,
in,
yeah.
in the San Diego area that we know quite well, whose name is Ted Chargers. And
He was pissed when they moved to L.A.
he was pissed because he had all sorts of like synergistic kind of, like a lot of great synergy with the local football team. But so what do you think?
Yeah, what are you thinking, huh? Because the similar experiences overall, definitely estate lawyers, I think is the primary purpose here. But I guess it comes down to, some of the details of a Hawaii versus San Diego, California trip to you. What do you think?
Well, I have never learned to read nor write in my life.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
So going to a lawyer seems like a kind of pointless thing.
Well,
I've
you don't
heard
have to
that
do
they're
the writing. That's why you get the lawyer. The lawyer does the writing for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to be writing that I haven't been needing to be writing in the last 137 years?
Well, a will specifically, and again, this is just sort of like a role play experience, just kind of getting out there, experiencing new things, which you seem to have not done at any point. So, what better place to start than with, estate law?
Well, what is a will?
Okay, so a will is basically what determines who gets your possessions, whether it is a bucket or, $47 million after you die.
Yeah.
Can I give my $47 million to my bucket? Because I would like to do that. In fact,
okay.
I love the idea of a will, and I would like to have one made out right now to my bucket, Harold.
Well, we're not estate lawyers. We would need to get Ted Aluau or Ted Chargers to do that. But yeah, I mean, certainly we could have you give the money of the bucket, and then maybe have to give the bucket to someone else.
Yeah,
like us.
Why would you have the bucket?
Well, I mean, what else?
Do you need to be lowered into a mine?
Well, what else would the bucket do on its own? I imagine if that were the scenario where you left the money with the bucket, it would just be a bunch of cash shitting inside of the bucket.
Yeah, shitting.
Sitting.
And then we would lower the bucket into the mine, the closed mine where I grew up, and we would bury it.
That's what you want in the will? Bury the money?
Bury $47 million in a closed mine.
I think my bucket would like that.
Okay. Can I do another quick sidebar with my partner?
Oh, sure.
Are you doing fine?
I'm just fine.
Okay, great. Okay, so I want to respect her wishes. And what I'm thinking is that we could parlay this into sort of a rat race treasure hunt scenario.
Yeah, where we contact any of the potential lineage of her fathers from the mine.
The group fathers,
and tell them that there is a bucket of money and just give them hints. I forget exactly what they did in Rat Race. We'll figure out our own thing, but they give them hints, and then we just watch and see who gets there first.
Yeah, and then that can be a fun vacation. We might be able to make even more than $47 million by turning this into sort of a legendary treasure hunt scenario.
Yes, televised, of course.
Okay. So, Shingles, have you made a decision?
I think after thinking long and hard and then forgetting what I was thinking about.
Typical
and
Shingles.
Then thinking about a bucket for a long time because buckets bring me comfort, I have decided that I want to die in the sky, having been birthed into the earth.
Okay, so you want to go on the Hawaiian helicopter tour?
And the helicopter's in the sky.
Oh,
yeah. Yes.
That's great. Hey, Keith,
yes.
Keith, I'm happy for you. You needed it, buddy.
It's not a competition, but I did need it. I was going to lose my shit if I lost again. But now, but I'm not losing because we're both winning, and we're all winning.
And we're all winning here.
But it is 3-2. You have 3, and I have 2.
Absolutely. But more importantly, Shingles, look at that big smile on your face.
Look at that. You look
stoked.
Making that smile appears to have sent you into a great deal of pain.
I apologize.
My lips are made out of barch.
Yeah, it seems like you haven't used those face muscles in quite some time, possibly ever. But that's amazing to make a almost 138-year-old person smile for the first time in their life. I mean, what greater endorsement is there?
Look, if Guinness World Records hasn't reached out to you, they should reach out to us for being the first to make a 138-year-old smile.
And certainly. I think that has to be a record.
That has to be a category they already have that we're just going to top.
I don't know what that means.
Well, you don't know much, but you do know. You don't know much, but but now you are going to know what it is to go on a lovely vacation to Hawaii. Seems like we don't even have to be particularly sneaky about this. We're trying to get into your will and help you die. But we've kind of made it a thing where it's going to benefit all of us. It's going to benefit us because we're going to have this cool kind of hidden treasure kind of vacation package that we can sell / rat race kind of scenario. Cuba Gooding Jr., John Cleese, Whoopi Goldberg,
Rowan Atkinson.
Very good call.
Who else was in that movie? Seth Green.
Shingles, for not knowing
Yeah, wait
anything.
a second. Hold on. Wait a goddamn second, Shingles. Hold the fuck on. You didn't even know who the Beach Boys were, and somehow you pulled that Rowan Atkinson was in the 2000 comedy classic Rat Race with John Lovitz, who was also in it. And
Another good call.
Vadarlis? Nia something? The Greek one? Do you remember that?
Rowan
Shingles, who the fuck are you? Are you actually 138 years old? Who are you?
in that movie. Have you seen it?
Have you seen it? You seen Rat Race?
I don't know who that is.
Rat Race even came out before you were in the world.
It had to have been a rerun.
It had to have been on like TBS or something. Do you have TBS? Shingles, tell us the truth.
I don't know. All I know is that I want to be dead and I want my bucket.
Oh my God. Shingles is like
47
melting.
million.
Oh, wait, what the hell?
It's like just turning into dust and floating away.
But wait, the dust is clearing and it's a perfectly normal looking 27-year-old woman.
No, it's not. It's an old person.
Okay, what's your real name,
Hey,
Shingles?
the gig is up,
The gig is
Shingles.
up.
Listen. I really do have $47 million and I really do want to die.
Okay. Well, you could have just told us that. You didn't need to do this whole charade.
I'm trying to get through a bucket list here, okay? And my last item on my bucket list was trying to be a crazy old bucket lady. Nailed it.
Was every item on your bucket list bucket related? Tell the truth.
Maybe.
What else is the bucket list for? It's a list of bucket related things.
I'm just so quirky. I want to die. I love
Wow.
That is a quirky trait.
You're
to wanna
so
die.
quirky you want to die. Well, are you still interested in going on this vacation and potentially dying in this very, very dangerous helicopter tour?
OMG, abso-fruitly. I would love that. That sounds so hella fun. I cannot wait to post it on my IG story. I am literally freaking out right now.
Okay, so just to clear things up, you do know who the Beach Boys are, right?
No, we actually kind of don't.
So now you're too young to know.
Now
who
you're too
these
young
folks
to
are.
But
know.
I do
That
know
makes
who
sense.
Shirley Temple is. Isn't that weird?
You kind of are. It seems to be like you're going for like, what if Shirley Temple grew up but never matured? That's kind of your
Kind
aesthetic.
Is that your vibe?
Is that your vibe?
But I'm not like a bitch like she was.
I didn't realize that Shirley Temple
Yeah, I
was a
haven't
bitch.
seen that in a while. Was she famously
Seems
a
like
bitch?
Hardcore. I don't want to say this like too loud, but like a hardcore cunt. Okay.
So you're going on record as saying Shirley Temple is a hardcore cunt.
Listen, come at me, curls. Okay.
Come at her curls because she's gonna be dead soon. What are you gonna come at?
Yeah, straight up. Come at my fucking ashes, Shirley. Ew, gross. Don't like that name. Anyway, cannot wait to go to Hawaii with you guys or like wherever the fuck we're going.
Okay, well, this has been quite a journey.
Wow.
Is your name still Shingles McGillicully? Is that true?
It is actually.
Okay, wow, that's incredible.
Well, then I have one final question, and this is crucial because we've established then that your memory is no longer horrible. That was that was a character trait of this old person. What's the origin of the name Shingles?
Well, it was actually because my father and my mother were both just like straight up little bitches. And when I was born, they're like, fuck this bitch. And I was like, ew, gross. And they were like, ew, gross, right back at you. You look like a fucking house shingle. And they named me Shingles.
I thought they were going to say you look like you have shingles.
Yeah, but either way, it's not flattering.
No, they were both in construction. That's how I got so rich.
So that's how you got. Okay, so that's interesting. So all right, so they're kind of maybe created a real estate empire of some sort.
They did.
Wow, that's
They
incredible.
built all those houses that those girls sell on Selling Sunset or whatever that show is. Can you even believe that? Ew.
Wow, the McGillicully fortune.
Wow.
Incredible. Well, this is great. I love being deceived.
I do love being deceived. It's like Halloween's right around the corner. I'm just ready to be
Spooky.
spooked, and thank you
Yeah.
for the spook, Shingles.
Thank you
This
for
is
You're
speaking of Shingles.
welcome.
So we'll be
Oh
in
my
touch
God.
and send you on your way, and we'll actually come with you for that trip, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
and-
looking more forward to it. I like this new Shingles better than the old one.
Yeah,
Can I say
a
that?
lot better than
Yeah,
the old one.
and you better have like a really super fun plan to spend my $40 million, you fucking bitches. Ew, I hate you guys. Let's be friends.
All
Okay,
right,
on the
thanks.
plane ride over, we'll talk about a plan that you can
We'll talk
agree
about
with
it. We'll
for
talk
how
about it.
we can spend your $40
Sort of a
million.
Brewster's Million situation, yeah. Well, thank you so much, Shingles McGillicully, for coming on the show. You were very weird for most of it, and then a delight at the very end.
I show
Oh, wow, I still got it.
Still got it in you,
Still got that
Shingles.
voice.
I'm like literally an actress. It's crazy.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, see Shingles off. It looks like she does have a bucket that she travels in, so we're going to see her off that way. And then we'll be back to wrap up this episode of Destination Passport.
Passport.
Bye.
Welcome back to Destination Passport. And wow, what an adventure that we just went on with somehow her real name, Shingles McGillicully.
What a roller coaster ride. But if it was the type of roller coaster where you don't do much and you just like are on the same track for a while and then at the end it just drops drastically.
Yeah, it's sort of like if you just went on kind of at the amusement park, just a little choo-choo train.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden
There's an earthquake.
all of a sudden there's an earthquake that threw the train off of the train track onto the track of the most violent roller coaster in the park. And then you did a corkscrew and
That's what that was like.
That's what that was like.
Which thrilling.
And I feel bad for Shingles wanting to die so bad.
Yeah, I feel bad too. But what a quirky girl to want to die.
So
that bad.
that's one of the quirkiest things that you can possibly do.
It's a quirky trait.
Yeah, is want to die.
I really enjoyed getting to know Shingles, and even more than getting to know Shingles, I really enjoyed getting to know the real Shingles at the end. Mm-hmm. Great gal. I'm excited. We're going to get to spend more time with her.
We might get sued by Shirley Temple, but you know what? Fuck it. Because we'll have $47 million pretty soon.
That C word deserves it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I won't say it.
Well, yeah, and I already did.
I don't think you did. I think Shingles did.
She did, and then I did.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But I felt emboldened.
Sure, yeah. On the back of her calling her that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't ride that wave anymore.
No, I already regret it. Shirley Temple, if you're out there, I regret calling you a, what was it?
See you next Tuesday?
Well, I knew that word. What was the modifier? What was the adjective?
I don't remember.
Raging? Anyway. Shirley Temple, you're not that, but if you sue us, fuck you. We have 47 mil.
Yeah, and we have experience suing people to the ground now.
Yeah, until they fucking die.
We're good at it now.
Well, we've come to the just about the end of the show, and
That's
this is,
right.
of course, when we do some of our most famous segments, what to look out for, and
Tip of the week.
tip of the week.
Travel tip of the week.
And I believe you're doing the tip, right?
I am doing the tip.
Tip of the week.
This is the tip of the week. Tip of the week is packing. Packing is something that is undervalued in our society. I think we can all agree on that. I think we could all sign a petition today that says exactly that, and we would all have no problem signing
The
it.
petition just says packing is undervalued.
And that's a petition straight to Congress.
Oh, yeah.
Just letting them know that it is undervalued and they need to be more aware of it.
Packing awareness is something that we've been trying to spread. That's kind of our charitable wing.
It's our charitable
Our
wing.
nonprofit,
We
yeah.
haven't brought it up on this yet because it's so important. We didn't want to front load it and ruin all of our say at the beginning. But this is crucial for us. And my tip has to do with packing and proper packing. Okay. A lot of people think, you get the suitcases nowadays that it has the main area, right? But then you have kind of the outside top zipper.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't utilize that. They don't use it at all. A lot of people think, well, maybe I'll throw, when I'm on the trip, my dirty clothes in there to separate it from my clean clothes so that when I get back, I know that they're separated.
Yeah.
Dum-dums.
Yeah, dumb as
Listen
fuck.
up. You can utilize that space on your trip out by putting all of your socks in there and nothing else. That way, if there were an emergency and your main luggage compartment were to not open, you'd still have socks on your trip.
Still have socks, and that tends to be the minimum that most public places around the world require. Yeah, as long as you're wearing socks, if you can't access the rest of your clothes, you're fine.
And again, for you that aren't cultured enough to know, in America, it's typically no shoes, no shirt, no service. When you go elsewhere, it's no socks, no service.
Yeah. And sort of conversely, socks service.
Socks service.
Yeah.
No socks, no service. The inverse of that, socks service.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do that. That way you can at least go get brunch somewhere at a minimum, even if you're nude, outside of those long knee-high socks you packed in the front.
Yeah. And so that tip of the week was brought to you by our nonprofit organization, Lil Packers. Where we give packing classes to at-risk youth, so that they can learn how to pack for their big vacations.
Yep. That they don't get to go on.
That they don't get to go on because they're at risk.
Because they're at risk.
But that is the
prepped.
hope. It's aspirational.
It's aspirational. One day.
We figure if we give these kids a glimpse into a future where they get to pack for fun vacations.
That puts a twinkle in their eye.
That puts a twinkle in their eye and keeps them off the street.
Keeps them off the street
Yeah.
because they're inside packing. You don't pack in the streets, folks.
You don't pack in the streets.
Unless you're packing heat.
Unless you're packing
Let's
heat.
not go there.
And that is actually the tagline of our nonprofit. Little Packers, you don't pack in the streets unless you're packing heat.
Which you don't want to do.
Which people interpret as an endorsement of street gun violence. It couldn't be further from the truth. We're saying that that's a bad thing.
Bad.
We want to stay inside and pack.
Inside and pack.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Keith, do you want to launch into our next segment called What to Look Out For?
Yes. And what to look out for this week is zoos. If there's a zoo near you, go to the zoo. Zoos are great for seeing animals. And this has been What to Look Out For.
Keith, that is a great point. Because if you want to see animals, zoos are the primary target. And what you should watch out for, again, is if you're already near one, like you said.
Yeah, if you're already near a zoo, just go there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you're not near a zoo, if you're nowhere near a zoo, then I guess you're fucked.
I guess you're fucked. Or call us.
Or call us, and we can set you up
book you a trip.
with the zoo hopper trip,
Yep.
where you go from zoo to zoo, get fucked up, yell at the animals, throw stuff at them. And again, we've tried this all ourselves, and we know that most zookeepers are out of shape.
Most zookeepers are out of shape. You can get in there in time to mess around with, maybe pet the animals, and get out in time before the zookeeper even gets to the animal.
Yeah, and if they see you, they'll never be able to chase you down because they might look like, wait, I don't want to get up on her aunt.
No.
But there are a lot of thin zookeepers with really bad cardio.
Yeah, and they have to wear such big boots because they step through poop and mud all day.
Yeah, they got to wear their poop boots.
They can't run in those boots at all. I think that's more of it than anything, honestly.
Yeah.
They look comical. Their legs kicking out side to side, trying to come at you.
It's like, what are you doing?
It's exactly like that. That's what we said to them, and they said, "I'm coming after you. You can't do that. You can't slap a giraffe on the ass and run away."
And then the chimpanzees are laughing at the zookeepers.
Yep.
And now the tables have turned.
Flinging poop at them.
Yeah.
Finally,
Finally,
it's reversed.
usually the zookeepers who are just getting so frustrated with the chimpanzees that they shit in their hand and throw it at the monkeys.
Well, it's the only way that monkeys know how to communicate. So if you want to communicate with a monkey, you got to shit in your hand to throw it.
You got to shit in your hand. You got to you got to come down to their levels. So again, what to look out for: zoos.
Tip of the week. Pack socks in the front.
Pack socks in the front. And if you want to donate to our nonprofit charity, Little Packers, don't pack in the street unless you're packing heat. You can help some at-risk youth learn how to pack.
Learn how to pack and learn how to stay indoors while packing.
Yeah. That's
because the other type of packing we don't want them doing is we don't want them packing a bowl of marijuana.
Not at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's it. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in again. We'll be back again next week with another guest. And this has been Destination Passport,
where the only destination is happiness.
And sometimes passports.
Yeah. Bye.